The Dark Gift by Zahid Zaman. For Glynis C. Miss you, love you, never forget you. Chapter 1. Monday. A man walked under a dark sky, carrying a small parcel in his hands. His name was Imran Rashid. He was 18 years old and deeply frustrated and upset. He'd been in the nightclub since 9 p.m, right until it closed at 2:30 a.m, and in all that time he hadn't spoken to a single woman. He'd sat with his drink on a stool, watching everybody else dance the night away. He wished that he could dance like them, but he was too self-conscious and felt like he had 2 left feet. The moon floated benignly in the soup of dark sky on this November night. Here he was, at home at last. He pulled the house key out of his pocket and opened the latch. He entered the old Victorian house. He entered into the hallway and opened the door to the dining room as he walked past the living room. The first thing he did was put the gas fire on and went to the kitchen to get a knife and fork. He moved the chair which was in front of the gas fire to the side and sat down in front of the fire on the carpet and eagerly opened his parcel. Doner kebab and chips. They were still warm and he dipped in his fork and lifted some doner meat to his hungry mouth. It tasted wonderful. He eagerly chewed the meat and opened the bottle of strawberry milkshake he had in his trouser pocket. Just as he was about to take a sip, the phone rang. He got up reluctantly. Who the hell was that at this late time at night? Hello? It was a woman's voice. His ears suddenly pricked up. Hello, he replied as he swallowed a load of doner meat. Is that the Asian prince I am speaking to? She inquired in a perfectly upper-class English tone which was so feminine that he was trying to picture the woman on the other end in a seductive, little, skimpy dress. Asian Prince was his handle on the local newspaper Lonely Hearts column. I know what you're thinking. Why am I calling at 3 a.m. in the morning? I called earlier, but you were out, and I have had trouble getting to sleep, honey. The way she said the last word instantly gave Imran the impression that here was a woman that wanted a bit more than small talk. I would like to meet you, she said. Great. What's your name and when and where would you like to meet? He asked. My name's Emily and I'm in the town centre at the minute, but if you give me your address, I will be outside your front door in a few minutes, honey. There it was again, that word that made Imran think he was on a promise. He knew it was strange, but he couldn't let this opportunity slip through his fingers, so he gave her his address and, after a few more pleasantries, put the phone down. He sat down to eat again and started to wonder about the phone call. Was it a prank call, or was a sexy, upper-class English-sounding woman going to come visit him after what she had read in the paper? He couldn't think too clearly, but decided he would let destiny take whatever course it willed. A few minutes later, he went to the kitchen and put the empty chip paper in the bin and took a last swallow of the strawberry-flavoured milkshake, which he absolutely loved, and then, there it was. His heartbeat jumped, and he could hear it in his ears. A knock on the door. Imran quickly went into the bathroom, which was adjacent to the kitchen, and looked in the mirror. His hair was swept to the side and cut short, and his teeth were clean and bright. He looked through the window and noticed in the half-moonlight that the door to the shed in the garden was open. The wind must have blown it open, he thought. He would lock it in the morning, as there was no time to think about the shed right now. He stood up straight and smiled and rushed for the front door. He opened it. Wow, was the first word he said as he ran his hands through his hair. Stood in the doorway, a slim girl about his own age who was dressed in a black, skimpy dress and whose skin was as pale as the winter moon. Hi, she said, holding out her hand. I'm Emily. Imran looked into her eyes, and from the light coming from the hallway, he suddenly realized this was a rare creature indeed. He invited her in and showed her to the living room. She placed herself very delicately on the sofa, one leg crossed over the other, sideways on. "I was just about to make a cup of tea. Would you like one, Emily?" "Yeah, sure, I'd love one." Imran walked into the kitchen, half not believing his own luck. Yes, he thought in delight. Maybe at last his days of being a singleton were over, or at the very least he expected to get a bit of the action which had been so absent in his life for so many years. He quickly prayed for the kettle to hurry up as it boiled. He went back into the living room and pulled a small table from the corner of the room, and then he got a packet of biscuits and 2 mugs of tea and placed them all on the small table. He sat down on the sofa next to her, holding his mug of tea and thankful to be inside from out of the cold and in the presence of an extremely warm gas heater.